Hello and welcome to another duel commentary in a duel game. Today we have Wolf versus Defiant on a map called Convergence, which looks like a 3-player map but is designed for 2.
And with that, we'll begin with talking about the faction. So we have Wolf here as the green
Why does
Dominion.
Redman Mark keep breaking up?
Yes, that's interesting. Mark, you are breaking up quite a bit. And we have Defiant here, Romulans. He's going for an Institute first and a mining station, so he probably plans on going into Griffins right away, or Leovols, one of the two. They both require Institute, so that's a pretty typical build. And Dominion player right here is moving his constructors. He's going to do a double eco build over here and a yard over here most likely. You can see both players are scouting quite well, as I call it, scouting religiously. Rash quite likes that term, right?
No.
No, okay.
I do not.
So this is a 3-position
make...
map, and you can see that normally another player would spawn over here. This is designed to be randomized, so you have to actually do a little bit of scouting before you start. And that means that your expansions can change quite a bit. You could take in a safe expansion over here if you're this player over here, or you could take a more dangerous expansion over here, but it's closer to your enemy, and you have this wonderful block of asteroids over here that you don't have to worry too much about. There are also these tri-moons in the back over here that allows you a little bit more tech up opportunity, so you don't have to worry too much, but your enemy might also take them. It's quite often that an enemy will place a mining station here, do a sneaky expansion. You'll never notice because you don't scout that.
Yeah, this map is made by Dominus, if you can't tell, hence the amazingly great love to it. I'm going to take this opportunity to try and win my house back, because I do want my house back from Dominus, so I'm going to bet that Defiant's first unit out of that yard will be a Griffin for my house.
Griffin, okay. Well, I'm going to bet that it's going to be a Leoval because I see S2s coming out of Dominion, out of Wolf's yard. And if Defiant were to move this scout, he would clearly realize that he needs something anti-short range because the S2 has tactical weapons arrays, which means it's going to take much more damage short range. Oh, and we're both wrong. They're generous.
We are. We are both very wrong.
All right, so does that mean a Rash wins the houses by default because he didn't bet?
Well, I was thinking of strikes in my mind, but then I noticed it's Helev, so.
Right, so Arash, you now own my house. I think one day I will own my house again, as it currently stands.
I can easily bet what the next upgrade is going to be. We have an upgrade facility going up, and that can only mean one thing. Spectres are coming out, and Spectres are anti-short range, and we have S2s, so he's thinking a little bit more tactically long-term. Dominion has already placed the Ketracell synthesizer up at his tri-moon, so he already wants to get that economy up, and he's building a tech lab. This is an amazing amount of tech so early in the game, and he still only has... Is that only one? No, that's 2 dilithium miners on that first moon, and 2 tritanium miners. So he's not going to even have a full economy. He hasn't even tried to expand yet. I guess he's very afraid of what a Romulan player can do, given he has Cloak and the ability Surprise. But if he looked at that and saw that there's a Generax there, he would realize he can do whatever the hell he wants because these have torpedoes. They're not going to be able to chase down these poor S2s or even his constructors very much.
Yes, this is a very fast tech game compared to our usual sorts. What's interesting is the Spectre. How strong will that be against the S2? Spectres are very, very slow. So with very good micro, he can get those S2s out long before they get destroyed. I don't know how strong they will be against the S2 in terms of using their pulses. Their special weapon won't do much to negate much of their damage because S2s don't fire pulses. They fire beams.
Now, the one thing that they will be good at is getting a critical mass. So once you get 3 to 4 Spectres, you can get through those S2s very quickly. So these S2s, as soon as he gets 2 or 3, they need to go out and start raiding. Otherwise, he's going to build up this mass of Spectres and be able to one-shot them as they retreat. Because remember, Romulans have Cloak. They can easily decloak, fire a few shots, and run away.
Okay, he's going for his expansion now. There is a Dominion constructor heading up north. So he's going for the northern expansion from his base.
So
that has been his chosen route.
One more thing to notice is that the Spectres have kinetic weapons. And now, though it's a hidden technique, Spectre kinetic weapons actually do more damage to vessels with a defense of less than 19. And if you notice that S2 has a defense less than 19.
Yep, and we have a sneaky Romulan here. He is taking that tri-moon on the far left side. which again Romulans are titanium heavy, and when you do go for their upgrades, so he's a good spot to take really.
So we got about 7 seconds left until that Spectre is up. We've got 2 Generics on the field. They're not going to be able to do much at this time. And he doesn't have enough try to build another one, so we'll see what happens here. The 2 S2s are going out. They're going to start harassing most likely. If I were them, I'd send them down to this Tri-Moon.
As the scout first, he has got his scout hanging that way, so hopefully he will spot that before those S2s go up. He's heading to the expansion first. He's going to see there's nothing there. And, and that scout is just going to miss that field, I think. Nope, he's going down. He is heading for the Titanium Moon at the back.
He may not see it still. I think he's just out of range of seeing it.
Yeah, he is. He's
sitting
just
in the middle of nowhere.
Sit there.
They're waiting for a command. And you can see the Generics have found them. And I don't know if they're going to decloak. I would be very surprised if they do, because these things won't do that much.
Yeah, of course, the best thing to do is to not give them an attack order, but actually hit decloak, because the attack order will give them a slight pause between firing their weapons when they decloak.
Yeah, exactly. And we notice that the Spectre refit is almost done, and our Dominion player has now taken his expansion. And you can see that he does have a fair amount of resources left, but he's going to run out very soon because these S2s build quickly.
Right range of the star base there. He is going for the Titanium Moon there. Missing out on the trick there on the southern Titanium Moon.
The Spectres are now refitting, we can see, so they should be ready very soon.
Pointlessly attacking the station there. It's not going to do much in the right amount of time.
Well, you know, he might be able to kill it. He has another S2 moving down there, so once he gets 3 or 4 S2s, he could kill that mining station in just under 30 seconds or so, 40 seconds.
He's going up north, and he's going to head for that constructor that is going to that expansion. It's an easy target.
And I think Admiral Akbar would like a word here, because I think it's going to be a trap. Because I'm hoping to see these Spectres head up there eventually. Because he did see those S2s run away.
He is chasing. No, is he chasing? He's not chasing. Bit of a shame.
So I'd like to notice that these S2s do not have their research yet, even though he has this tech lab. So he's not making use of that very early tech that he decided to do. So, and he's not building any sensor stations, so he's not using any cloak detect. So he just took a lot of resources, I believe 600 dilithium, very early in the game, not to use it for anything. This is very surprising. Unfortunately, that constructor is going to go down, and these Spectres are still waddling along.
So slow. To be fair, I think at this point he's just going to have to go and raid. He's got his scout on that expansion over there in the north of the wolf space. He really should probably just send these Spectres up there to just raid the hell out of that. He can kill all those miners actually long before they get anywhere. Every single one.
We have a constructor going there right now, and it's building a large construction yard. So that's what he's going to use his tech lab for. Probably going to move into something like maybe T-15s, or probably more likely because it's popular B5s. And this is where our good friend Redmond Mark lost his bet last game. So
I don't know if I want to make a bet after what happened to me last time. I will bet the house. And I haven't got the house anymore, so I can't bet the house. So I'm going to bet my pussycat.
And we can see, he stopped moving at an inopportune time. That S2 was so close to death. He won't be able to get it now, but he has 3 of these. As soon as he gets 4, he'll be able to do very high damage very early, and these S2s will likely not get out of battles.
If it was me personally, I probably would have gone for a trade-off. I would have kept my Spectres moving up to the expansion up north, let his S2 come into my base, just pull my mines back to my star base, let them sort of die, or just sort of dance around while I just take out that whole entire expansion, and hopefully before that yard would have come up. Now he's going to have more trouble because of course he'll cycle his ships into that repair yard. It's going to be so much more of a pain now to take out that section.
Now, very interestingly, we have bombers coming up here, and I don't understand this, because bombers are anti-short range, our Spectres are not short range, So they're going to be doing not extra damage, and they're going to be missing because these are medium-sized units. If I would have made the suggestion, it would have been to go with B8s because we have pulse armed, and that'll be good for harassment, as also long range, so they'll do more against the Spectres. The bombers, yeah, they'll do a little bit more, but they'll be missing as well.
We did miss the chance to bet. It was a T15. I would have bet on B5, so I would have lost that bet. So I'm glad we missed that bet. Because I didn't
will also be doing tremendous amounts of damage. They'll mainly pulse based, so they'll be doing a lot of damage to these Spectres. But the Spectres will have their field day for at least a short amount of time until the S2s get there. They'll get at least 1 kill.
Yep, there is.
And he's not going to risk it, so he's just going to top out. We can see that Spectres are going into production. He really needs to get up a dill mining, and we see that constructor going out.
Yeah, they're all going back. So you can keep 2 of them there, wait for those S2s to move, decloak, and attack again.
We have no other tech going up right at the moment, so he's not planning on doing anything in advance. He's just trying to get that mining up. And he hasn't built any freighters. Oh, he's building them now, so he thinks that he can hold that position quite heavily, which is maybe a bit of a gamble given the amount of ships that he sees Dominion has on the board, and that we only have these 3 Spectres. I'm a little bit surprised that he's retreating this one Spectre, given that it only has engine damage, and it should be able to repair its hull damage by the time it gets back. It had no shield damage whatsoever.
We have another Spectre on the way up to the middle. He hasn't cloaked it yet. I don't know if he's actually realised he hasn't cloaked his Spectre. But there it goes. Again, T15, interesting choice. The Spectre, of course, special means the pulses on the T15 will do less damage once he gets it up. I think, how much did they gain by? 50% less damage from
the
pulses?
Spectres are actually still medium range, if I remember correctly. I have to look that up now. Yep, they're medium range. So they won't be negating anything out at all. The T-15s, mainly it's their pulse damage will be doing more to these Spectres because these are anti-short range units. They have tactical weapons array. Now, on the other hand, here we have 2 Spectres shadowing and 2 at base. And this could be quite bad for these S2s. So we'll see if he's able to corner them. I'm not sure if these S2s plan on heading up. If you notice, Dominion did find that tribe based on here, and he will eventually kill that miner.
Yeah, what I was actually talking about on the Spectre refits there was the refractive shield dome, which is what I meant will take less pulse damage from the T-15 if he turns it on. Not its natural passive.
Right. Yes, that would be pretty good. It would definitely be worth the try right now.
Just look at these Romulan miners fall because they are made out of tissue paper.
Yes. You can sneeze and find that out. He needs to move that constructor ASAP because he's going to lose that, and he hasn't queued up another one, so that'll be his last one that he builds. And you can see that he retreated these 2 dilithium miners. He needs to send those back up to mine because he's losing out on a lot already.
He needs to get those Spectres up there, stop them from chasing.
What I hope is that he doesn't decloak the first 2 over here. He waits for them all to get there. That way he can one-shot that really damaged one. And he retreated units in the opposite direction, so this may bite him.
He's bringing them back now. He's setting up a trap. And there you go. They do want that constructor.
Yep. And he hasn't yet started to build another one. So
I guess that's not his priority right now. He managed to get a station up there. He'll just end up building more miners in the short term. Get some miners up there. Get them going.
There he goes. He got it. So he got 3 S2s out of that. Not too bad. I went back home. We see 3 T-15s, a sensor station, and I'm betting that he probably got the research. Let me check that. No, he didn't get the research yet for the sensor station, so he won't have that remote tachyon beacon. But he does have a lot of pulse arm stuff coming out, and a lot of bombers that are starting to pile up.
Yeah, he's got his economy sorted out now. Still no research though. Not sure why he built that tech yard right at the beginning.
Well, he needed the tech. Yeah, not at the beginning. He didn't need it, but he did need it for the large yard. So presumably, he just thought a little bit that he would have his large yard up earlier than that, perhaps. He does have now 2 Ketracell synthesizers, so he's quite able to get his supply production well. So you need usually 1 Ketracell synthesizer per yard, so he has that. If he wants to expand again, which I would highly recommend to do since he has the advantage, remember, when you are ahead, get more ahead. That's always the motto you should follow.
Yep, of course, he's not worried about his Talon going into that sensor station. It's no threat to him. It will not detect his Talon.
It actually will detect his Talon because this is an advanced, this is a graviton ping. So he has to be careful about that. The Dominion has just those, they have normal pings on their units when they use that remote tachyon beacon, but their sensor stations actually have a graviton ping.
He is now building a C-17, V-13 battleship. So he's changing units now to much heavier units.
And that's pretty decent given that Romulans aren't harassing that much. So if the Romulans were harassing, he probably wouldn't be able to afford that and he would want smaller ships, but he feels pretty unaffected. And you can see that these bombers are sneaking around the bottom over here and they're going to take out this yard pretty fast. These 2 will do decent damage. These are also weaker than 19 defense values, so they will fall pretty quickly, but he'll get the damage by killing that mining ship at least. Oh, he didn't click. See, it'll just make it barely out. You need to always keep your ships firing ahead. And these ships will now harass over here. Our prototype, I think, is sitting... Where is our prototype?
Oh, he's let's say, that's very clever. That's very clever. He split his ships up there. So Defiant did stop giving chase, and he went to get that little one that's getting away up north. He should have just carried on going forwards and just let it carry on targeting the one that was right in between his 2 ships.
Right, exactly.
And he's lost the kill there completely now. He's going to have to really start doing some harassing soon. There's going to be a lot of problems. He's queued up non-stop V-13s. He's got the resources to have them pump out non-stop. So he's going to have to start doing some raiding. To be honest.
To note, V-13s are medium range, so they do take a lot more damage from Leovols. And we can see that Defiant is building up quite the Tritanium reserve, so he could afford to build Leovols if he wants. But right now I think he wants more of these. He wants to annihilate those S2s, even though they're not going to be any S2s for probably ever again. It's going to be bombers and T-15s that are going to be in that main position, and these V-13s.
Yeah, if you take a look at the expansion mining... Oh no, too late, beat me to it. I was about to say his miner was doing nothing, and just as I was about to tell you to go to the expansion, I left him on the wrongs. He told his miner to mine. Boo, he stole my joke.
So very interestingly, we have these split units. So we have 5 Spectres over here. We have the T-15s and the S2s coming out. These are all in a big long chain. And this is basically a Romulan's wet dream right here, because you could just easily take out units in the back, take out some of these units as they're going in the stream. They're not in a blob fashion. But unfortunately, he doesn't have a scout on this fleet, so he probably doesn't see what I see over here, which is those bombers hanging out all over there, and these lovely S2s over here. Still
yeah, he could go for the bombers. He's got the ships, he's got 6 Spectres now. He could turn around, go for those bombers, take them out, cloak, and then rejoin on the main battle at his expansion, because that's clearly where they're going for. Will he decloak and take advantage of this? Look at this. This is a deadly good time to decloak.
Yes, absolutely. Keeps them out of position, keeps them from firing on those very delicate miners.
And there we go. Beautiful, beautiful.
So he's going to take minimal damage. These are forward firing only. They can't even shoot backwards. These T-15s are just going to make the best out of a bad situation here. Probably going to start to retreat very soon too.
I think he will. As you said, you know, the Spectres, you start letting them build up en masse. This is what happens.
Oh, and he lost weapons, so he is going to lose that Spectre most likely. Although these other units are not firing ahead, which seems to be a problem over and over again.
That Spectre got away. It actually decloaked and it got away. Look at
so
that.
He did lose another one back at home. He has killed 1 S2 so far, 1 T-15. He is going to get another S2 at least. It's unlikely that he gets any other units. Now, I would like to make a note that Dominion and Romulans both have a ton of Tritanium, and in this battle, remote tachyon ping would have been extremely useful, because that would have meant that you could take out all those Romulan units as they're leaping out of battle. It also means that Romulans could have taken much less pulse damage by using their
special
weapon that I've forgotten their name, which is refractive.
Refractive, yeah.
At this point in time, you need to retreat those miners.
Very good micro going on. He's cloaking and getting them up before they destroy. He only lost 1 Spectre refit there, as opposed to Dominion, who lost a lot more ships. They lost their full fleet of S2s, quite a few bombers, a T-15.
Now, I will note, even though Dominion lost a lot of ships, they do have another expansion going up. So this is their second expansion. They have a lot of miners here. They could even take another one if they want. They could take this middle if they want, because really it only takes 1 minute about to recuperate the cost from building a mining station. So you just need to have it in position for 1 minute to make even the cost, and then after that you're golden. So even though they lose a lot, they can recompensate for that as well. And
yeah, he's got a steady fleet of V13s there, going up as well. What's really interesting is he's obviously taking the advantage here by expanding as much as he can. His resources are very, very low supply, over 180, over 800 titanium, and lots of dilithium. So he's in a good stand, though he lost a lot of ships. Like you say, he can rebuild those very fast, and these V13s are going to pack a punch.
So unfortunately, Romulan needs to scout more heavily, because we have another large yard going up right in the neighborhood of this Romulan player. And you can see that this large yard is also going to probably pump up V13s. He stopped production. Oh, he started it again on this small yard, so he now has bombers going again. So maybe he just wants a little bit more cushion for his fleet. You can see that those V13s are just being pumped out like crazy.
They are. He's actually researching excessive strike as well, so he is getting their special up as well. Excessive strike disables. What does it disable? I cannot remember.
It doesn't disable anything, actually. It just does a tremendous amount of damage. So it fires a bunch of torpedoes out of the V13. And this will just come in handy once he wants to blow Romulan ships to hell without using cloak detect. You can see, though, he still hasn't gotten the cloak detect. So this is going to be very late cloak detect, even though he has the ability to do so.
Yeah, he's got 7 Spectres now. Has he started to replenish his mining yet? He hasn't replenished that southern mining, so still no mining ships there. And he has built in his expansion. I'm going to guess I've got it is a shipyard. Yep. So I guess he's got a double Spectre. I'll probably get some
the other thing to note about using Refractive Shield Dome is that it is a replace weapon, which means that units will miss and they will reacquire another target. So if you use that ability at an opportune time, you can easily get out of combat. You can easily get into combat, raise your shields immediately after decloaking. So these are all useful things that this ability would be possible with, and you can see that he has 1,200 titanium, which would already make it possible to use that. So Romulans have finally scouted this forward expansion down here, but it's too late. They've already got a sensor platform. They've already got the large yard up. V13s are being pumped out, and this first V13 is down here. There's a little bit of lag building up because of his cloak, and these V13s are going to be very hard to stop. So he needs to kill these small ships and then move on to the V13s later on when he can manage that. So hopefully he'll decloak right about now. There he goes.
Yes, and
you can see that that ship got caught first. Wolf had quick hands and was able to fire on that ship even before it regained shields. So he has about 2 seconds to do that. He managed it quite well. First B-13 is going to go down. Not too big of a loss, really. If he doesn't chase it, though, it might get out. So he has to keep on it, keep it point blank range.
Yep, of course, it's better to not tell your ships to attack a ship. It's better to chase at the next location and let them auto-target.
You can see that ships are going to get out because of this. And there's the excessive strike. It does miss, but it did do a lot of damage, and he will probably kill that. There he goes.
Oh, what a shame.
One Spectre, and now we have Leia Balls going out. So now he's deciding to counter. Is he doing an ability? No. So he has no Leia Balls abilities. He has still very low dilithium. He chose to build that yard up first before he had the dilithium here, probably as a resort to save himself from any attacks over here, but it backfired a little bit because he could have used that 960 dilithium for quite a few other things.
Yeah, as you can see, titanium is through the roof at the moment. He should do some research. He's got so much titanium, just sitting there, 1,300. I would research at least the level 1 Laval, or as we keep saying, the Refractive Dome. That's just our opinion.
Yes, and Dominion right now is very low on supply. He won't be able to support these dual yarding V13s for very long. He needs to build up another Ketracel synthesizer, especially since he's building from 3 yards. So you need 1 Ketracel synthesizer per yard, basically, in order to keep that going. So that's your general rule of thumb.
The Dominion is sitting just outside his base. Well, that's very cheeky.
Yep, and he can obviously see this. Should be able to get away with it. There's a lot of firepower in those V13s. So hopefully he can knock out these T-15s first, not really worry about the V-13s. They will build up critical mass, yes, but the Leia Balls, that's what they're for, and you really need to get rid of these T-15s because they do way more damage to these ships. This, unfortunately, is going to die. We're going to get rid of those T-15s, but I think that we're going to lose more than one Spectre here. We're going to lose another Spectre. This Layaval is going to block it too. So a general rule is that you need to fight right in front of your yard entrance when you're doing this, when you're up against uneven odds, because otherwise you're going to have this situation where you're running around trying to get into that position. You can see that he's going to try to chase, but he doesn't have enough ships to chase. Well, the best he can do is force as many Dominion ships out as possible, and then kill the last one or last two as they're retreating out.
Yeah,
you can see that Romulan's over here is just sitting at this tri-moon. He needs to go over, take this other dilithium moon, expand again. He only has 2 dilithium moons, whereas Dominion has 3. So this is going to be probably the game over.
This is going to be a game over. The good trick of your yard is to actually set the rally point behind it where the repair point is. So that way, as soon as they come out, they'll be ready to go back and repair again, and you can just cycle them that way. Because obviously, as soon as they come out, they're going straight ahead and straight back into battle. If you set the rally point behind, you can just keep rotating, and get in the repair constant.
Yes, exactly. And you notice that these excessive strikes have been very useful. They're getting the last shots on most of these Romulan vessels, which is exactly what you would expect from such a tremendous amount of damage. Even that Layaval, while it was repairing, still got knocked out just because of the immense firepower from the V-13s and all these excessive strikes. You just got about 70% of the hull on this thing destroyed. Quite a lot of damage. That's the last of the Romulan ships. The mining is gone. There's just a little bit over here, and there's one Layaval over here. So Defiant's sticking it in for the long run, but it's quite clear that there's nothing to do against this Dominion juggernaut. We even have another Dominion base going up in the middle, very cheeky of him. He'll probably be able to put up another yard there. This is just in-your-face aggression.
This really is, and it's so funny because Wolf did not want to play on Convergence whatsoever pre-game, because it's a new map, and he's absolutely just dominated the map. He scouted really well. He expanded. He took advantage of other expansions as well. He didn't give in. Very good play by Wolf. Still would love to know why he built that original.
You broke up. Our mate is having a little bit of technical difficulties. You can see that the Dominion is just causing a lot of explosions here. We're not going to get much out of this. And the good game is called the Goober Gaming. And with that, we have another commentary from the Dominus and the Redman Mark.
Yes.
Mark, say hi. Say bye.
Hi.
User joined your channel.